So, Jamie Kastner, welcome to Stockholm. I wanted to start off by asking you what your personal relationship with disco music is and why you wanted to make this film about disco music.
My personal relationship with disco music stretches back to when I danced in my underwear to the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack for my babysitter. As a small child, I should point. This wasn't last week. And by last week, I had, at least put on pants. So that was my original personal relationship with disco music. Why I decided to make this film came slightly more unconventionally. I went to propose a film on Harold Pinter, the English playwright, to an art station in Canada. And the broadcaster said, nobody gives a shit about Harold Pinter anymore. How about a film on disco? And I said, okay.
All right. So the film is titled The Secret Disco Revolution. And I was kind of wondering what you think was overthrown and what overthrew it and what came to be after the revolution, so to speak.
The film is kind of a comical, ironic investigation of some new revisionist historical theories that claim that the disco era was gravely misunderstood, that it was not, as we've all assumed, a time of dancing, debauchery, drugs, and other things that start with D. But it was in fact an important, misunderstood time of protest and liberation. And these historians, these academics, are now claiming that disco was liberating gay people, black people, and women from the clutches of what they kind of describe as a white male-dominated rock empire. And apparently, according to these new theories, disco did this through fashion, through black-inspired music, through gay, a dance club scene that was the result of gay and straight and white and black people coming together on the dance floor in a particular way for the first time. So that is the kind of revolution that these new academics in my film are claiming disco was. Whether this was true or not, well, you'll have to see the film to find out.
You have this throughout the film. There's several artists who say that disco wasn't political at all.
Don't spoil the ending.
And I was kind of wondering why you think that is. Why are these people not perceiving it as political at all?
Doing a film on disco is a fun way of doing a film on history. And it's fun and interesting because, first of all, it's not a subject like genocide, which is depressing. Secondly, it's recent enough history that many of the original players are still around. So you've got the kind of perspective of, you can have both the perspective of people who were actually there on the ground at the time, as I do, Gloria Gaynor, the Village People, Thelma Houston, Kool and the Gang, etc., etc. And you can also have the perspective of those who typically write history, the historians, the academics, the people who kind of put it all together. And we're in a fun position sort of 30 years after here where we can juxtapose the accounts of both of these groups. And it's interesting to see, for instance, how people on the ground can speak very directly, and I'm talking about the disco artists of the time I spoke to, can all speak directly to their own experiences, but they don't necessarily have the perspective of the whole historical sweep. On the other hand, historians who are trained to have that overview don't necessarily have the authenticity of direct experience to speak to. So you put the two together and there's a bit of fun to be had, at least when it's disco, not genocide you're talking about.
So today you have these small subcultures who pretty much worships disco, like horse meat disco and fjord disco in Norway. And I was wondering why you think disco has survived in these disparate subcultures, basically.
I think the most obvious reason disco has survived this long is because of its more obviously non-revolutionary qualities. It is the most inoffensive kind of music you can think of. The lyrics, by and large, are meaningless. It has an extremely clear beat that every white person can understand, no matter how rhythm-challenged he is. For these reasons, it makes it an extremely accessible music, and that's probably why it's never died. That it may be revolutionary was news to me and probably is to most people too.
Thank you.
Thank you.